Welcome to Future Foodcast. I'm Pam Line-Miller, your host, and I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Farm to Plate. They are a software company working on tomorrow's food business ecosystem today. We're excited to have today a really fun guest. Who doesn't like sweets in life? Just those treats that we always get. We have Drew Redmond with us. He is the Senior Director of Product Development at Quality Candy Company. And I can't wait to talk to him. Welcome to the podcast, Drew.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pam. Really happy to be here.
Everybody likes the sweet treats, and thinking about candy, it's always puts a smile on your face, no matter where you are. Kids love lollipops. Adults love the sweet treats that we go to choose. What do you do there at Quality Candy Company? Do you have a focus or general?
Yeah, so at Quality Candy Company, we've been making regular old sugar and syrup hard candies for over 35 years now. So we've got a rich history of manufacturing everything from lollipops and candy sticks to the little mints you get with your dinner check. And so that's the majority of what the company's done for our history. And then just in the last 5-6 years here, we've really started looking at expanding our horizons and different ways that we can utilize our confectionary experience and creating novel consumer packaged goods products. So that's largely where I come in. I'm the second generation of the candy family, but I bring a little bit more of a technical and formula-based approach to the business. So we're looking at doing everything now from sugar alternative products to supplements and vitamins incorporated into candy, all sorts of things like that.
Well, I look forward to diving into some of that during our time together today.
Yeah.
Let's start out, first of all, 35 years is a long time. And you said you're second generation. Can you tell us how Quality Candy Company even got started?
Yeah, it's a funny story, actually. It's much better told by my father. But the short version is that he moved out west with my mother at the time in the mid 80s and started working in Southern California for a company where a candy company where he got familiarized with the opportunities of manufacturing products in Mexico, and in conjunction with the United States. It's predates even the NAFTA agreement, but there's a program that you can utilize to manufacture products and then import them into the United States. So he got familiar with that process and always knew that he wanted to manufacture something and to run a business making something. And the story goes that the logic was as simple as everybody loves candy. Why not candy? So he didn't know very much about candy itself at all. He's a lumberjack by trade, and a lot of his family were by trade, ran sawmills in the Northeast for a couple generations. And then he just kind of dove into it down there in Mexico. So that was in 1986 and started with a then 50-year-old lollipop machine from Italy and tinkered on it, got a couple guys working on it, made a few thousand pounds of candy that year. And, the rest is history. We're making north of 27 million pounds of candy per year this year. So it's been a long story. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Drew, that is a great story. And the part that he's a lumberjack that's what his family did before that in the Northeast, and then head west to California and just find out about this whole industry. I guess it's the old supply and demand idea where your dad said, like you said, everybody loves candy, and we do, and figure out how to make that work and happen into some old equipment that you can kind of refurbish a bit and get up to speed to start making some candy. Well, you're well beyond that now, obviously, in what's going on, because you're one of the largest manufacturers for what you do. Now, you still make your candy in Mexico, but you send it all over. You bring it back to the United States.
Yeah, we're all over the world. The program that we manufacture under requires that we import everything back into the United States. So the products, aside from carrying a country of origin statement, where it's made, act as if they were products that were made in the United States. And from there, they get distributed all over the world. South America, North America, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Europe. We're all over the place, either directly or indirectly through our manufacturing partners. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think one of the key things about just that whole import is that quality-wise, no pun intended, everything you import's inspected by the FDA. I mean, you are under some great scrutiny, honestly, from a quality standpoint for consumers who are interested in that.
Yeah. It's an interesting aspect of the program that we operate under, and in a lot of ways, it could be viewed as a nuisance or an extra burden of to have to deal with, where every single shipment that we produce gets hand inspected at the border by the FDA, whereas some other companies that are located in the States, you might get audited or had your product reviewed once every several years or even in a decade. But really, it's just been an impetus for us to keep ourselves at a very high level of execution on both the food safety and import-export laws and all that. So it's really held us to a higher standard, and that's benefited us definitely in the long run.
I think it's a positive. Absolutely. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But let's talk about where you've expanded outside of that hard candy that was originally started, lollipops and, mints and things like that, because you have a really varied product line. When I think about a candy company, I would not think about all the things that Quality Candy does.
Yeah. It's interesting that the sugar and syrup, boiling sugar and syrup, you'd think it was a pretty limited scope of products that you could do with that. But, we mastered that over the course of 30 years. And then, kind of along with science in the food world, we've been pulling from, seeing novel concepts and products out there and new base formulas that you can make products that are very similar to hard sugar sweets, but actually aren't. So one of those is soluble fibers. Soluble corn fiber primarily. It's something that people have been taking as a dietary supplement for a long time. But it turns out if you pair it with a few other humectants and other ingredients, that it's a carbohydrate that functions very similar to sugar when it's boiled up to these temperatures. So you can make a product that very much resembles the shape and texture and physical characteristics of a piece of candy, hard candy. But these fibers, they're indigestible largely by our digestive system. So they have very few calories and actually provide part of your daily fiber intake. So we can make new products with that, and kind of opens up a whole new category for us. It's been really interesting.
It does. And I guess consumer trends and consumer demand kind of drives what direction you might go in. And one of them is people would like to consume candy and enjoy the taste of it and all that without what they perceive as the negatives, like you said, the extra calories and the extra sugar. But if these fibers are not really digestible and help with your intake of fiber, that's another win-win. What other things are you looking at in answering some of the consumer demands?
Yeah, so on the pure confectionery side and treat side, we're doing a lot in the sugar alternative space, as well as with not just what we call bulking sugars or products like the soluble fiber, which can make the large bulk mass of a piece of candy, but also in the artificial and alternative sweeteners world. So we're doing a lot of work playing around with things like monk fruit extract and stevia and different sweeteners that you can pair and combine in different ways to try to better mimic the original sweetness of sugar. So we're doing a lot of work there. And then separately, both in the confectionery space and in the alternative space, we've been working on incorporating all sorts of supplements and vitamins and minerals into our candy and candy alternative products as well. So we found that for a lot of products and compounds that people want to take on a normal basis anyway, things like vitamin D, vitamin C, magnesium, all of these normal vitamins, they can merge quite readily with a hard candy product, and it's a lot more pleasant to eat, and we've, everybody's already seen a lot of this happening in the space as far as gummy vitamins go, right? They've been around for a long time, And that's a great angle, and it's a great way to incorporate vitamins and minerals. But we've really wanted to take a different approach, and obviously, incorporating, building on our current experience. So we've been working on doing a lot of that infusion of novel compounds and supplements into hard candies. Actually, just 3-4 years ago, we started looking into the soft chew business. So we wanted to incorporate a new product format that's different from just traditional hard candy. And we saw kind of a gap in the market in the soft chew space. And so we geared up, taught ourselves how to run products on that, and got a line running. And we've been working really hard at launching some new products there as well.
Well, a couple points here, because a lot of people that like candy, me included, don't really want the impact on our body. Like, we don't want that glycemic index to go crazy. And so working with those alternatives that's crucial. And that is definitely answering one of the big trends that's going on out there.
Yeah. It's a big discussion in the candy and confection world, right? Where you've got this dichotomy of people on the one hand want to have treats and enjoy little moments, to themselves with their favorite candy. And on the other hand, there is a war on sugar going on right now, so to speak. And sugar is, rightly so, being implicated in a lot of different health issues, and, cardiovascular disease and diabetes and the like. So yeah, really a lot of companies are finding it hard to adapt, and are really just fighting back against the whole war on sugar. And instead, we've liked to embody, what the science and research is showing us, and say, hey, yep, what, I think there's still a place for sugar in the market, but we want to be able to offer people a broad spectrum, right? So we do full sugar substitute products. And then the nice part is we can blend in any amount of sugar that you like, essentially. So you can have a fully sugar-free piece, you can have a 75% sugar piece, you have 25% reduced, all of these, and kind of hit a whole spectrum of products in between, depending on what your needs are.
Drew, that's really interesting. So you've got a variable range for people to choose from, depending on what their personal situation is, or, for the 100% sugar-free for that person that absolutely, has a higher risk situation. But somebody who just, for some different health reasons, might want 50%, they can choose that. I think that's really being inclusive in the marketplace. I mean, you're giving people choices, and we consumers love choices. For those of us that aren't involved in the candy business, can you give me an example of what soft chew means? Like you said, you're expanding into the soft chew. What's an example of that?
Well, a soft chew, the simple or the easiest comparison is like a Starburst or an Now and Later kind of product, or high chews. So they're a sugar and syrup based product, oftentimes with a hydrocolate of some sort. We like to use pectin and some starches in there as well. But creating, a little wrapped square, 6-gram squares of sugar or sugar alternative, and including anything, from just natural organic flavors, all the way through those same supplement, vitamin, mineral complexes that we've talked about. The chews, because they carry a greater content of water in them, they're a lot more compatible with a broader range of vitamins and minerals, as well as a broader quantity that you can fit into them. So they're really just a lot more versatile, albeit more finicky product to develop, but it's definitely a great option for some folks.
I'm sure. And you talked about some different supplements, and you mentioned like a lot of over-the-counter type vitamins, but I know, having older grandparents and parents, and also younger children that might need to take some kind of medications or something that's maybe not an over-the-counter, often they can't take pills. I mean, is this an opportunity for you as well?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. I mean, again, you see it a lot with the gummy vitamin space, which, right, I think it has its positives, and it also has its drawbacks, in terms of packaging. Everybody's had a vitamin gummy jar where you can turn it upside down, and, it's just a big brick of gummies in there. So there's kind of a balance that you need to strike. Some people do well with gummies, other people don't. Some people don't like gelatin, right? Or some people have dietary restrictions that push them to avoid those products like that. So really, outside of the gummy world, there weren't and aren't still a lot of options. So we're kind of filling that area with these alternatives. And so if you're a kid or an adult, and you're just looking for a new, novel, more enjoyable way to take your supplements, as opposed to choking down that giant daily multivitamin, we're here for you.
Hope to provide them an option, right? Again,
Of
being
course.
a little bit more inclusive out there in the marketplace for people who have different situations. Well, when you do that, though, I mean, are there different certifications you have to get? I mean, because I think making candy and then also supplements, those are like two different things, right? Or putting them together.
Yeah. On the surface, they're very different. Yeah. They're, you would think ibuprofen and dinner mints are very different products, and they are, right? But when it comes to manufacturing any product that humans are going to consume on a regular basis, a lot of the standards are very similar, and it's just a degree of severity on how strict some of these rules are. And so, like you mentioned before, we were talking about the FDA inspections that we always undergo. We've always been pushing ourselves to be at the forefront of not just import-export safety, but food safety and quality systems as well. So over the years, we've slowly accumulated more and more certifications in the department. I think one of our first ones, we were kosher certified for very long time ago, 30 years ago, the entire facility was. And then, as we saw the rise of organic products, we got ahead of that curve and got the facility certified to produce USDA organic products. And then beyond that, we're gluten-free certified. We run an completely allergen-free facility. So most of our products can be consumed safely by folks, that have sensitivity to any of the major allergens. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, we try to hold ourselves to pretty stringent food safety standards. So we're certified by Safe Quality Foods, SQF, is level 3, and have been for almost a decade now. And beyond that, moving into the dietary supplements world was our latest achievement in this department. So moving from a product that carries a nutrition facts panel to a product that carries a supplement facts panel is a pretty big jump, largely in terms of processes, staff training, documentation, recall programs, all these things. So that was a pretty big step up for us that our team was able to pull off. And that just opens up a whole new, area for us to manufacture. And so we've been able to do it incrementally over the years. So it wasn't such a big change, going from pure candy shop to making, supplements. But we've been able to do it, and it's served us really well. And we're really proud of the facility that we run down there and our team that handles all of this. They're all stars.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a really dedicated team. It is not a small task to get these different certifications, and that SQF, safe quality food level 3, is that the highest level you can get? That's
the highest level that they offer. Yes.
I mean,
it's not necessarily the highest program. There are other certifications that we're still pursuing. One being CFR 211 set of regulations, which is for drug facts and for over-the-counter products. So that would allow us to go into the world of cough drops, for instance, right? And work with ingredients that we've already done a lot of work with, but just with a different packaging and labeling approach that allows it to be marketed as a remedy for certain products or certain ailments, excuse me.
Wow. Well, it seems like, I mean, not I'm kind of making a joke, but it's not your dad's candy company that he started 35 years ago. He's grown.
Yeah, we're definitely adapting.
Yeah, definitely. Just all these different areas. I would never have thought, just looking at you from the outside as a quality candy company, I just would not have thought that you were into all these different areas. That's very exciting and great that you could just build on the knowledge that you have and through your manufacturing process and the different certifications to just keep expanding and building on that and making it better and expanding what you're able to offer to your consumers that are out there buying your product.
Yeah, always got to be adapting to overcome new challenges and opportunities in the market. And that's what we've been able to thrive on and do for a long time now, is be very nimble and adaptable and respond to things that we see in the market and things that we think are exciting. So, it's an age-old industry. And I think it's very easy for other folks in the space to be a little bit more stagnant, because candy's been around forever and it will continue to be around forever, right? But to be leading the innovation in it is something that's really fun and motivating for us. So it keeps us going.
Well, and Drew, talk about innovation and kind of being on the leading edge and the work that you've done to get these different certifications. I imagine other companies are looking to partner with you because they don't want to have to build all this manufacturing and structure and start from the ground level pursuing this. And that's another area of business for you, correct?
Yeah, it is. It is. We work quite a bit with co-manufacturing partners for that very reason, right? That it takes a long time and a lot of effort and a lot of resources to get to a point where you can manufacture these products at the level that we do. And, in our opinion, you shouldn't need to be able to build a facility and a company like this in order to launch a product that you're think can make a difference or make a splash in the market, right? So we like to open ourselves up to manufacture products for not just ourselves, but all sorts of other companies, right? And allow them to leverage our manufacturing expertise, and they can focus on what they're best at, which is in some cases it's sales and they have connections into different retailers, or sometimes they're folks that are really good at marketing and branding, right? That have a great idea and vision for a product. And you shouldn't need to know how to boil candy to launch a great new health product, right? So we open our doors to anybody that wants to come to us with an idea for a product, and not just manufacture it for them, but in certain cases, even develop a product for them. So if you come to us with an idea for a novel product, we can let you know if it's something that's feasible within the realms of possibility in the confectionery world. And then if we believe in the product and I think it's a good opportunity, we'll develop it for you and build it up to scale so that it's ready for market. So these companies can go and kick butt at what they're really truly good at. Yeah. So it's fun working with a lot of folks like that.
Well, I bet that makes life interesting for you every day when you're dealing with all these different things. But in your B2B world, business to business world, you are in a lot of different outlets, different retailers. I mean, very large stores.
Yeah, directly through some of our own brands like Gilliam, which folks are familiar with in the South largely at Cracker Barrel country stores. The colorful candy sticks in the jars down there that people have been buying for decades down there. Or King Leo Candy is another brand that we own and operate. It's a 1901 peppermint brand out of Nashville, Tennessee that was losing traction and going out of business in the late 90s that we purchased and revitalized and kept the product lines alive with as well. So we manufacture products for those brands that go into Costco and Walmart and a lot of your dollar store chains. And then again through some of our other partners, we're in retailers all over the world. So it's really fun for us to be able to just focus on manufacturing good products in our one little area and then see it all over the place and making a global impact. Yeah.
The neat thing, I think, from my perspective, is that you're probably everywhere I am. It doesn't always have your name on it necessarily, but I now know that your company has, fingers in a lot of different distribution areas and a lot of different lines of candy and sweets and supplements combined and all of that. So that's very, very cool. Well, Drew, we have, I don't know what else you could do with a candy company. You're doing beyond what I thought before I talked to you. And but is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners before we go about either what's happened or what you're looking forward to the future? Or
I'd like to just kind of hammer home that we're here and we're open to work and trying to find new products and opportunities and product formats all the time. So anybody that's watching that works in the food industry or in the food ingredients industry, or just somebody that's got an idea for a product, that you think could make an impact, we're here and we're open for being your kind of confectionary experts and advisors. So we're really trying to open up and demystify a lot of the world of contract manufacturing and candy and now supplements and health products. So this is what we love to do. We eat, sleep, and drink this kind of stuff. So we're here. You can find us at our website and submit inquiries on there, and we'll always do our best to respond and get back to folks. So at qcandy.com, letter Q candy.com, you can find everything about our company and contact forms to get in touch with us there.
Yeah, and thank you, Drew, for being on the Future Foodcast. We will have show notes where people can find how to connect with you and any other information that you'd like. We really appreciate you being on with us, and we're really thankful also to our sponsor, Farm to Plate, enabling better food supply management. You can find out more at farmtoplate.io. Thanks again, Drew.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks for listening to Future Foodcast. Future Foodcast is powered by Farm to Plate, the leading food blockchain platform. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with the very latest innovations in the food industry.